You know, Warren Buffett has a lot of investments in plenty of different companies, but this week we learned a little earlier that he actually made the rare move of stepping into the middle of a competitive takeover battle. He's on the side of Occidental, helping it finance its bid to buy Anadarko. That's in competition with Chevron. He has not made any comments about that since we first learned of that news earlier this week, but when I caught up with him yesterday, I asked him how that deal came together.
Well, it happened right here. On last Friday, less than a week ago, last Friday, I got a call in the middle of the afternoon from Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, and he said that they were involved in financing the Occidental deal, and that the Occidental people would like to talk to me. And I said, fine, I can talk to them anytime. And I think he emailed later on and said this, that Becky, CEO, was traveling and that she'd call me the following morning. So she called me about 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I said I'd meet with her anytime and on Saturday or Sunday. So we scheduled a meeting for 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and she and Oscar Brown came, arrived at 10 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock we had a deal, and they had us committed unequivocally, come hell or high water, for $10 billion. And if the deal is made with Anadarko. So they had to get their own board approval, but they walked away with the 9/11 happened or anything like that. They had $10 billion for the deal.
Did you do this because you're betting on the oil industry or the Permian Basin or on oil prices, or is this just the terms of the deal itself?
Well, the oil prices are the big determinant over time, obviously. If you're in oil, same thing is true if you're in copper for copper price. So oil prices are enormously important, but I was familiar with Occidental and generally familiar with the Permian Basin, although I've never been there. If I were there, I wouldn't know what to do. But no, it was a sensible deal for us, a sensible deal for them. And I proposed it, and they decided whether it made sense. And then when we finished at 11 and they went back to the plane, I called Ron Olson. He's on the West Coast, so it was 9 o'clock his time. And I said, we need to get this done by tomorrow evening. And I said, Cravath will be their lawyers, and I assume they'll get similar instructions. So just make whatever it takes and get it done. And in 10 minutes, Ron had a couple of people working on it.
You mentioned the plane, and there was a story, I'm not sure if you saw that, about the plane that Occidental took out here got picked up by some people who were scouting for it, and someone wrote an article about it, and a guy who'd been tracking it saying, hey, maybe this is what's really happening there.
Yeah, I read about that service. I read about it years ago where people track plane numbers and try to make deductions, particularly if they're going to some small town where there's only one employee or something of the sort. So that fellow turned out, whoever it was, turned out to be correct. But I think I should point out to anybody out there who wants to do business with us that if they take a NetJets plane, nobody will be able to track them. And we might, for those of you who don't know, we might own that. We do own NetJets, and it really does make a difference. I mean, you cannot track who is going from here to there, and if you use a company plane, it's a big way of running a billboard that I'm in town for something.
Yeah, typical Buffett fashion, he managed to get a commercial in for NetJets in the process of this entire thing. But, guys, that's the backstory. And what I thought was particularly interesting was that Brian Moynihan is the one who placed the call to him originally, who brought him into this deal. We talked to Buffett about several things yesterday. We also learned that Berkshire Hathaway is investing in Amazon and that will come out in a 13F filing in a couple of weeks. However, Buffett says that he was not behind that decision. Obviously, he has other people in the office who are making decisions, too. And it was either Todd Combs or Ted Weschler who made that call.